You're watching The John Funk Show on the art of editing and the story of Colleen Halsey. Colleen, thank you for.
That's my
Um,
dog.
well, she's saying hello. I remember she was a good assistant editor when we worked on our project.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, that was a great project.
Thank you. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it a little bit in a second, but first, can you give us our elevator pitch as to who Colleen is? My friend Colleen.
Well, let's see. I've been at this editing. First, I was an apprentice, then an assistant editor, then a second assistant, then an associate editor, then editor. And then that it's been a span of 40 years.
You have some incredible credits. But let's first start with like where did you grow up and how did you what was your journey to Los
I
Angeles?
was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but I moved to California when I was 5. And I lived in Santa Clara. Then eventually I moved to Modesto, which is Central Valley, mid Central Valley of California. Then I went to UCLA and I got married very young. And uh, my husband's family owned department stores. So I became a fashion buyer. I was like 21. And then that marriage didn't work out. So I left him and moved to Southern California because my sister, I have a twin sister.
Who I'm friends with as well.
Yeah, and she's a nice girl. She was living in Malibu with Bob Chardoff, who was the producer of Rocky and many, many other wonderful films. And so they helped me get started. And my sister called Richard, said my sister, just got out of film school. I went to the San Francisco Art Institute, which sadly no longer exists. I think it closed last year. Um, Beautiful school. And I learned, editing. And my sister called Richard, like, whenever you're doing a non-union picture, could you hire her? And he said, is she half as good looking as you are? And she says, oh, she's my identical twin. He says, she's hired. And that's how I got hired with Richard. Not very PC. Uh, anyway, so my first film with him was Down and Out in Beverly Hills. And I was the apprentice on that. And then we moved on to Beaches, Edward Scissorhands.
Can I confess to you, and I've told you this before, but I want to say it again on the record. Edward Scissorhands is one of my favorite films.
It was a great experience. We did it in Tampa, Florida, and I think that was one of my last film shows. So traditionally with film shows, you sit with the director at night after shooting and you look at dailies together and we take notes. And Tim was very good with notes.
How would he give notes?
I'd sit next to him and take notes verbally. When we got back to LA, we went to Warner Hollywood and had the Marilyn Monroe suite. And it was beautiful editing rooms. And we were able to put the film together really quickly because Tim was very specific on the takes he wanted. He shot a lot of material. He could go to 14 takes. But he was very specific. We put the film together very quickly, screened it for Tim. And then Tim, I guess, screened it. If I remember, I screened it for the studio early. And it was supposed to be a March release. And the studio came back loving the film and said, could we make this a Christmas release, which moved it up 3 months. And Tim said, ask Richard, do you think they can you guys can do it? And we said, yeah. So we had a Christmas release with it.
Wow.
And it was well received.
Did you cut on Avid?
No, I cut, this was film.
Got it.
Cut on a chem, what they call chems.
My favorite montage in the film is when Winona Ryder is dancing in the snow.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So beautifully cut. Did you have
Yeah, and the music. I mean, Danny Elfman's music.
How was the collaboration with him? I guess maybe you didn't at that time put in temp music
I
or
think we did do Tim score, but when we screened it for Danny, he does not want to hear music, and but for good
yeah,
reason.
yeah, yeah, I get it. Every artist
Yeah,
is
but for us, when we want to show it to Tim, you want it to
right.
feel more finished.
Yep, yep.
So anyway, we took the temp score out, and I think it's one of the best scores ever.
Sure.
Uh,
Agreed.
yeah, I think it's Danny's best. So we finished that pretty easily, and Tim was just great to work with. He wanted us to move on to Batman with him, and but he wanted us to work with a third editor, uh, and Rich and I didn't want to work. We just wanted just the two of us,
Sure.
so we turned it down, which could have been a mistake, could or maybe not. But that's how it turned out.
What are some other credits or films that you worked on that you were particularly, either you knew that you wanted to talk about in terms of some of the films in your oeuvre?
Well, one of the favorite films I did was the first one I did solo without Richard, and it was called Pie in the Sky. Wonderful movie. And it was Brian Gordon was the director. His daughter's now a very famous. Molly Gordon is a very successful actress. But uh, we got into the Telluride Film Festival, which is near impossible to get into. But I
Mhm.
happen to know I was very close friends with the director, Tom Luddy. And he saw the film, and I was working on 3D Mighty Duck, and he called me. He says, "Guess what, Colleen? You're coming to Telluride." And it was really exciting. That
Wow.
was one of my favorite.
What is your favorite film?
Chinatown.
What is it about Chinatown that
Everything. I mean, Sam Osteen was the editor, and he's one of the most brilliant editors ever. Besides my husband, he's the guy I look up to most. He did The Graduate, he did Chinatown. The story, the costumes, the acting. And I know Roman Polanski's not everybody's favorite, but he's a brilliant director. And the movie's flawless.
yeah, it is. It's one of those films that hits all the right notes, writing, the costumes, the acting, it's
Yeah, and the chemistry between Faye Dunaway and Jack Nicholson, it's just so hot. It's really great.
and you either have it or you don't. And I think a lot of film is chemistry, both in front of and behind the camera.
Exactly.
I wasn't going to talk too much about Richard, but did you want to mention to people who may not know who Richard is?
Oh, my husband Richard, December 7th this year, it'll be 40 years of marriage. So that's
Congratulations.
good. That's good. He's a very talented film editor also. He won the Oscar for the first Rocky.
Our film that we made together,
Yeah, Roses on the Vine.
we enjoyed working with you. The update there is we've sold it to Kaleidoscope for international. It'll be streaming on some UK streamers in November. I'll have the list soon. And we closed a deal with Buffalo 8 for domestic. So we're closing up all
That's
the.
wonderful. I'm so glad. The film deserves to be seen.
Do you
It's a
want to
great film.
do you want to talk a little bit about the editing process on Roses, and also how other filmmakers, if they want to collaborate with you, what they should uh, do um, to collaborate.
Well, I thought John Shavitz really did a great job directing Roses on the Vine, and I forget the lead actor's name.
Cameron
Cameron.
Wait from Fallout. Yep.
Yes, such a talented man and young man, and the little girl was special,
Madeline.
and they had a chemistry that really came through in the dailies, and I really felt their closeness, and it really helped the film a lot.
Speaking of dailies and process, so part of our workflow was we had usually it was a PA, although I think I did it once or twice, but we would usually, at the end of the day, our DIT Bonnie would give us a hard drive, would give it to the PA, then they would drive it to you every day. Then your assistant would upload it, and you'd kind of do an assembly and then a rough first
Yeah,
pass.
we did that pretty quickly.
I think I delivered the drive a few days, didn't I?
I think so. I think so.
I wear multiple hats. But anyway, that was kind of the workflow during. So we had like a rough, cut soon after, a couple weeks after we wrapped, just
Yeah,
because
and
we were editing
John,
while we were shooting.
yeah, John Chavez had a vision. He knew what he wanted,
Hmm.
and so that always is great to work with because you want someone to be able to make a decision.
Hmm.
He wasn't confused. He knew what he wanted.
Yep.
So that makes the collaboration just richer.
If filmmakers want to collaborate with you, what do they do? Find you on IMDb, reach out to your manager. I want to give a little shout out so that you can hopefully get some business.
It comes from all different directions. Often, my sister, she's represented me for a long, long time.
In Cade management.
Yes. And often I get, but like the film I'm working on right now came through a producer that I've worked with on 5 or 6 other films. And I'm doing a film on Musk. It's a good,
Is it a doc or scripted or
it's scripted. And it's just the part of his life when he's trying to start Tesla. So
interesting?
it's not very controversial.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's more of an entrepreneurial drama.
Yes. Yeah. And so far uh, the dailies are looking good, and uh, I think it's going to be a good film.
What's something about you that nobody knows or something potentially non-film industry related that's kind of, interesting or idiosyncratic or, just something about you that, makes you you?
That's a hard one. That's a
Good,
hard one.
good. I love your fashion sense.
Well, that's I started out, the first job I had was in the
Yep.
fashion
Like you said.
fashion industry, and I was a fashion buyer. I went to New York 5 to 6 times a year. I ran designer fashion department for their department stores, but um, I'm a great cook. That's something about me that
I think I noticed that. Any advice for editors who are starting, especially given, the current state of technology and everything like that?
well, I think you just like with Richard and I, uh, officially we're retired, but we're still working, because we love it. It's not work. We're editing. It's see what you want to do with your occupation is choose something that you
Hmm.
find fun,
Hmm.
that you enjoy doing. It's not work. And the challenges of editing are what I enjoy most. I mean, it's figuring out a puzzle.
Well, Colleen, I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you for your time today and letting us
Yeah.
know a little bit about you, your work, and your advice for filmmakers. And until our next video, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, John. Thank you.